And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the 3 different kinds of intuitive wiring and give you an exercise we're going to do together to help you discover which is yours. So here's how it works. There's 3 primary ways that we can be wired for our intuition. They are visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. That's almost 100% of the population. Here's what studies have found, that 65% of the population is naturally visual. In other words, your visual sense is the strongest, the easiest for you to use. About 25% of the population is kinesthetic. In other words, you can feel things more easily. And about 10% of the population is auditory. What that means is, in terms of your intuition, it's easiest for you to hear things. And this is really important, that you know what your primary intuitive sense is. Why is that? Well, remember that most of the people out there teaching intuition and mind power are doing so because they had some kind of gift or talent, that they were naturally really good at it. The trouble is, a lot of them don't understand exactly what they're doing or how it works, right? And here's what happens. If you are, say, naturally auditory, and I'm an auditory, I'm in the minority, right, the 10%, but your teacher is visual, you're going to have a heck of a time learning from them. Why? You are wired differently. It would be sort of like learning yoga. One of the challenges with learning yoga is that unless your body is similar to your teacher's, you're going to have a really hard time learning this at a high level. Why? Your body's different than theirs, right? Your teacher may have naturally strong shoulders and loose hamstrings. You may be the opposite, right? And they won't understand why you can't touch your toes or do the archer or these things, right? This is why I would say, if you would ask me, hey Brent, what's the most important thing in picking a yoga teacher? I'd say, find a teacher who has a body that is similar to yours. Then what they teach you will be much more applicable, right? So it works the same with intuition. That if you have a different wiring than your teachers or the people you're working with, you may have a hell of a time learning. And you'll struggle and you'll wonder why you're not getting it. This could be why. You may simply be wired a little differently than your teacher. And so I want to pause right here to ask everyone, do you know what your intuitive wiring is? If so, let us know in the comments, right? Are you visual? Are you auditory? Are you kinesthetic? If you don't know, that's okay. Just say you don't know. No worries. I'm going to guide you through a process in a minute to help you identify what your wiring is. Awesome. While you're down there in the comments, make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe. We got a whole series of amazing videos for you on intuition, and I know you don't want to miss out. All right, so now that we've established there's 3 kinds of intuitive wiring: visual, auditory, kinesthetic. And we know that if your teacher has a different wiring than you, you're going to have a heck of a time learning from them, right? So how do we figure out which is yours? Well, the short answer is, over time it will become apparent. So if you practice, your teacher will be able to point it out over time. It should be obvious. But here's something we can do right now. If you want to help identify your intuitive ability, how you're wired, please take a second to close your eyes and imagine you're sitting on a beach on a warm summer day. So I want you to do a couple things. First, I want you to imagine seeing the beach. Imagining your mind's eye seeing the ocean, seeing the waves crash on the shore. All right, that's part 1. Part 2 is this. Now I want you to imagine, what are you hearing as you're sitting on the beach? Can you hear the crash of the waves on the shore? Can you hear the cry of the seagulls? Can you hear the children giggling as they build a sandcastle? Awesome. Now on to part 3. You're still on the beach, but now we're going to focus on what you're feeling. So imagine reaching down into the sand and feeling the warm sand slipping through your fingers. Imagine the feeling of the cool, misty ocean air blowing in off the ocean. And tune into the feeling. Awesome. So that's really all there is to it. So how does this help you? Well, I want to ask, which of these things was the easiest for you? What came in the clearest, the fastest, with the least effort? Was it imagining the visual scene? Was that the easiest for you? Was it imagining the sounds? Or was it imagining the feelings? Whichever one was easiest for you, most likely that is your primary intuitive sense. And that's enormously valuable to know because, again, there's 3 different kinds of wiring. And it's really important to know which kind of wiring you have because that'll have a big impact on how you learn the process. If you're trying to learn from a teacher with a different wiring and they don't know about this, you're going to spend a lot of time and money running in circles. That's exactly what I did. I spent over 10 years, over $250,000 running around to all these different people, desperately hoping that someone could fix me. Instead, I got an education in how stuff really works. And I'm here on YouTube to give this to you for free because I don't want you to have to take 10 years and spend $250,000 to learn these things. I'm going to give it to you totally for free here, right here on YouTube. So if you haven't done so yet, make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe. You don't want to miss out. And as a thank you for being a loyal viewer, here's an awesome picture of outer space. Excellent. Awesome. So where do we go from here? If you are serious about developing your intuitive skills to a high level, I would encourage you to consider my Secrets to Higher Dimensional Living Weekend Intensive. In just 2.5 days, you can do it all live online. I will teach you how to get to a theta wave. When you're awake, I will teach you how to read the body, how to read the future, how to clear subconscious blocks, how to do subconscious downloads, how to manifest from a theta wave, how to clear cords and hooks and attachments, even curses, how to retrieve soul fragments, how to send unconditional love, how to clear harmful radiation, and a lot more. If you're interested, just click the link here. It's also down in the comments. Would love to have you join us. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you check out my Spiritual Power Quiz. It'll take you about 30 seconds. We'll help identify what is your unknown to most people hidden spiritual power. Now, I know this material is life-changing because your intuition is probably the most important thing long-term. And so it's far more important than almost anything. It's what will bring you health, happiness, fulfillment, joy, money, success, everything. And I would love to help you learn this in a way that's much easier and much faster and much less expensive than it took me. I am Brent Michael Phillips signing off, and I hope to see you again soon, maybe here on YouTube, or maybe at one of my live weekend intensives where I will show you how to create a flow of miracles in your life. Until then, namaste and take care.